Hey everyone, so we're back in automation and today we're going to be doing another request. They say make a trophy truck, and so that is exactly what we're going to do, except, big asterisk here, we do not have a proper trophy truck body in this game, so we're going to make an unconventional 1940s utility truck, trophy truck. As per usual, this is not going to be realistic at all. I'm basically going to just come up with my own ideas on things. I already have a few ideas of what I want to do. For example, we're definitely going to need, I'm thinking we make a 5.3 liter V8, because I was looking it up, and most of these trophy trucks, they have LS3s, so it would be about that. And I'm gonna say we also go twin turbo, and we also go 850 horsepower. So I may be overbuilding this a little bit. Like this engine is capable of more than 850 horsepower, but we're going to cap it out there just to be slightly more realistic. And I think for the fun of it, we'll go for like a higher revving, maybe 9 grand to see if we can get up to there. So it currently makes, just with a small exhaust tweak, it currently makes 820 horsepower, except it has a ridiculous bump in the torque there. But it seems to be almost where we want it. I'm just going to try and flatten that curve a bit. So I think you can see what I mean by this engine is capable of a lot more power. It currently makes 1227 horsepower, which is a lot. I was not originally intending on having this much power. Oh my goodness, it's almost 1300. It can creep up to 9200 RPM at 1300 horsepower. I'm feeling that maybe we should just leave that. I was originally going to go for 850, but 1300 sounds way better. So we'll stick with a 1300 horsepower, 5.3 liter V8, twin turbo. It's perfect. Alright, so when it comes to bodies, we have a couple of options, but being a trophy truck, we want to go for this. Now the reason I picked this was just because it looks kind of odd. It's a very square bed on the back of a 1940s style cab, but with these cabs they have such huge fenders that you can just make them extra wide. So that's one of the key characteristics of these trucks. Like, they have very, very wide fenders, and they're just wide in general. So I figured that we'd go ahead and do that on this, and that is really wide. So I have settled on just a nice silver, and we're going to go for black wheels like we usually do. Trim, we'll make it black trim as well, so it's a more sporty look. So when it comes to fixtures, one notable thing is we have these lights. So we can do proper light bar style lights up on the top, and I'm excited to work with that. One thing that is also good about these lights is they don't really seem to have a size limit. So for Disco Puck 2.0, we can make it have just these massive lights on the top of it, just like that. You can tell that I am quite excited about this new development. So this is my first iteration of the front end. It's come together a little bit quicker than last time, I will admit, but it does not look terrible. I feel that I need more in the middle, so I'm thinking about a badge possibly. Maybe a bat? I don't know. But it just needs a little something in there. So here we have the finished product. I think that this is as good as it's gonna get. I'm not sure about the supercharger still. If we get rid of it, it looks like this. Okay, that is a little bit more clean, because right now it is quite messy. I'm also debating on those. Yeah, you know what? For the sake of cleanliness up here, we'll get rid of those too. But yeah, this is it. It does look unconventional. I tried to be nicer this time. I basically just built the entire thing. So this thing can go 360 kilometers an hour. And I have made a car like this in the past, and it had terrible issues with wheel spin. And this one has like double the horsepower of it. So we're going to have to do our best here to ensure that that doesn't happen, because we want chunky off-road tires. But we can't go too wide either, because it'll look like, if you just crank up the wheels, they look so awkward being so wide. They're just massive. So what I usually do is turn them down a bit. Maybe we'll make 305s on both front and rear, and then make the offset bigger to try and compensate for it. Because even these wheels look awkwardly large. I don't know why, but the way that automation does them is just odd. For wheel size, so we can get up to 650. I want as big wheels as we can get, And size 12 rims. I mean, we could go bigger, but we'll just go size 13. Let's turn them down just a bit. 295s. Crank up the quality, lower the weight down a little bit. It's currently not having any wheel spin issues, but it probably will. I am going vented discs. We will make them bigger. We don't want them huge, but we do want some pretty decent sized discs, because this thing is going to be heavy. I think we're pretty much there. We just need... We'll go with that so it doesn't complain. Oh, safety is going to be advanced. We'll raise up the quality sliders. And active sport. Let me see here. Okay, so it has risen significantly with the suspension modification. It is very, very tall. I like it. I think we might lower it down just a little bit. If it's too massive, then it's going to be, well, awkward. It's already an awkward looking beast, but if it's too massive, it'll be worse. So it says the car has severe issues with wheel spin, and I don't know if we can fix that. Like in first gear, it's 100% chance. If we lower this down all the way, it goes down to 92. So it's like there's pretty much no helping it at this point. So I'm thinking we just go for a 75 spacing, better acceleration, and we just hope for the best, because chunky off-road tires are not great on grip. Semi-slicks won't even save it. So I think we're stuck with what we've got here. And let me see if I can deal with some of the other ones. Okay, so it seems like this is going to be it. It's a 1300 horsepower trophy truck, which is more than normal trophy trucks. I have a suspicion that it's going to be quite slow. Oh my goodness, it is very light. This thing might be quick. It might be incredibly quick around the track as well. Let's go to an off-road testing track and see how good we can do. So, I know what you're thinking. Why would you make something so horrendously ugly and then pretend that it's a trophy truck? Well, I'm here to inform you today that this is indeed a real trophy truck. Listen to this. Now the best part about it is that it wheel spins in every single gear and it will not stop. But this thing was not made for the pavement. It was made to be out here and not hitting a fence. But yeah, you can do pretty much anything in this. It is quite quick, dangerously quick, I would say. Not so much around the track, as you will see when we try it. It's quite durable, as in I just did a front flip and now we're still driving. I know I can chalk that off to automation physics, but it's a lot of fun. It is so dangerous though. I don't know how to stop that wheel spin. Like, we could put semi-slicks on, I guess, but I would rather have the more authentic off-road wheels, just because it's supposed to be an off-roader. That being said, it is really quite fun to just drive around. It does not handle very well. I guess that's solid axles for you. I don't think the trophy trucks actually have solid axles, but we'll just have to pretend. And it does really good jumping as well. Like, stunt-wise, it's quite on point. Oh, goodness. Ah, there you go. It shifted the axle completely to the right there for a second. Okay, this does not seem like an obstacle that we can cross up here. But let's go head out to the desert, and you can see what it's like out there. Alright, so here we are in the desert. This is this truck's home turf here. This is where it was meant to be driven. And it can't wheel spin when it's always wheel spinning, I guess, so it's the perfect combination. Oh, one thing before we get absolutely destroyed. The wheels, or sorry, not wheels, but the lights actually do function on top. So we have full lights all around, and it looks so good. I'm so happy that they work, because that means that we can use them on the Disco Puck version too. So it's gonna be great. But yeah, let's go crawl some dunes. And hopefully we don't get destroyed too quickly. Maybe we can make it from one side of the map to the other. Ooh. Uh-oh, that bent it. It's a little bit damaged, but we're gonna continue forward. Maybe it'd be better in low range in here, just to keep it a little bit slower. One thing I really wanted to do with this was put that spare wheel in the bed. Oh my goodness, we've shifted the axle. Goodness. But one thing I really wanted to do was put that spare wheel in the bed, but that was the best I could do. It wouldn't actually go onto the floor of the bed. I don't exactly know why, but that's the only thing it would do. Oh wow, a vast desert is in front of us, more to explore, and a ramp as well. I particularly like watching it just bounce around from a far distance. It sounds so perfect. Okay, we just lost a wheel. Alright, we just lost every light. It's perfect. Actually, I spent a little bit less time with the building part of this video, just because I wanted to spend more time driving. I think most of the time my videos are very focused on the build, but in this case I wanted to do a little bit more on the drive, so let me know what you think, if you'd rather have longer build sections or longer drive sections. You would think that that's not recoverable, but it is indeed recoverable. The back axle isn't even attached to anything anymore. Oh, you know what I'm missing? I should have put mud flaps on this thing. That would have been great. Alright, for a slight change of scenery, I have moved over to the Tough Truck Challenge map, and we are going to attempt some of the obstacles in this map. I don't know how this truck is going to fare. I'm going to try and take it a little bit slower, but this thing just does not do slow, so we'll have to see how it holds up over time here. I don't have a good feeling about it, to be honest. This thing, I mean, this course is more made for beam cars, because they do have better destruction physics. So far, we're definitely able to hold our own on this short course. We just have to be a lot more careful around some of these corners. Except for the turning portions, this is pretty easy. This truck can take a lot more than this. We need to take on the deadly challenge over there. Alright, so another challenger has stood in the way of the unconventional trophy truck, and it is not going to take no for an answer. We have to get through this course, whatever it is. It appears to be some sort of rock crawling course, but we are definitely not made for rock crawling, so I don't know how this is going to go. Let the power break us through. And maybe low range as well. Oh, and we totally don't have locking diffs either, so this is going to be great. It's making it through. It's barely making it through, but it's making it... Okay, we're going off the track. Maybe that one was a bit too tough for us. Alright, the challenger beside it has called our names, and we will not relent here. Let's try it. This might just be the reverse of the track we just tried to do. Okay, maybe a little too much speed there. I'm thinking now that I should have put a muffler on this thing. It's just so loud, I can barely hear myself think. Alright, we're going up a cliff. I believe that this is the long course, so we'll have to... Oh no. Oh, okay. If we can't go through this section, then that's all that we can do. Yeah, no locking diffs and way too much power is preventing us from moving up here, at least in the right way. Overall, I think that this is a pretty decent trophy truck. I know I can do better in the future. We're going to take it around the test track though. We are going to attempt to race it around there, and my goodness, I might end up dying halfway through because it is incredibly hard to steer this truck, so it's going to be a very rough ride around the track. Alright, so for those of you unfamiliar and also listening to the idle of this truck, first place is the hill climb car, second place is the 2900 horsepower V12 car, and then third place is actually the max downforce thing that we made in the last video. It's like a key car style thing, very cool. And then around the back we've got stuff like the Panther and the off-road van, and there's a truck in here somewhere I think too. Oh no, there isn't. So we're really competing with the off-road van and the Panther, I would say, in this vehicle. So we've got to do better than a 311. Alright, so we're going to attempt to get around the track in faster than a 311 doing 2 laps. So, oh no, oh goodness. I can already tell that it's going to be a rough one. I fear that this might be the slowest vehicle by far, just because of how uncontrollable it is. It's not the braking that's bad, it's the wheel spin. I should have heeded the warnings of the wheel spin gods when I was making this thing. It is just not controllable in the slightest. The big problem is the Panther was the same way, but that thing had 1600 horsepower. The problem is that this thing is a 2012 model, That one is a naturally aspirated V12, 12-liter V12, and is a car, so it's probably a little bit more agile around the track. The thing is that statistics-wise, this should win, but just because of its wheel spin issues, it probably won't. I am trying, but I'm also trying to get through this within a reasonable amount of time, so I don't want to sit here all day trying to get good laps with this truck. So our first lap is... oh goodness. Oh no! I have to redo that. Oh my goodness. One slight tap and we're missing a wheel. That little car that we made with max downforce was so good at driving that I just cannot adjust to driving this one. I just can't seem to do it. This thing is all over the place and it is kinda my fault. Oh my goodness, it looks like I might actually be able to finish a lap. I may finish a lap with a slight cheating off-road section here. Okay, so we're at a 125. If we can... so 130 right now. So 132. We should be able to beat the Panther with our second lap, assuming we can stop. I think that first lap might have been a miracle from above, because this lap is not going too well. It is so slippery. It feels like I'm driving on ice constantly. Okay, after some hard focus, we are almost there. I have just been trying as hard as I can to get this around the track. Just trying to be nice and soft with it, just slight touches on the brakes and the gas. Like if we gunned it right now, we would probably just fly off into a bush. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to 12th. So 12th is it is just slightly faster than the van, or slightly slower than the van. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a bit of a disaster. It's fun off-road, but man is it bad at handling. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to let me know in the comments. And also, if you have any suggestions, let me know. I've kind of just been making cars that people suggest, and eventually I will do something with them. I like Consider's idea of doing an Auto Olympics. I'm not going to copy that idea, but I might do something similar. I'll just pick like my top 5 cars from all the ones I've made in a certain amount of time and then pit them against each other and see what they can do. If you made it this far in the video and you enjoyed what you watched, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to keep making content like this, and I will see you in a few days.